Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Well, meteorologist Joey Ansel here, and got you your latest forecast on a Tuesday. Plan for a lot of dry sunshine here through the middle of this week for your forecast ahead. Some warm to hot temps as a strengthening ridge of high pressure dominates our forecast this week. And then as the ridge breaks down, next cold front drops in from the north. Friday night and the weekend, I'll watch for some increasing chances of rain and thunder by then in the long term. In the short term, dry. And some areas of overnight and morning dense fog may affect your morning drives out there too. High of 85, low at 66 in Charleston yesterday. Both of those right around averages. Seasonable norms yesterday. Starting your forecast what the radar and satellite may look like at 1 p.m. Again, pretty quiet out there. Sunny to mostly sunny skies, warm temps, some muggy humidity here and there. And be mindful overnight and tomorrow, some of that River Valley fog developing and then dissipating around midday or slightly before that. Fly Saber forecast, it starts at home. Washington, D.C., 92 today, 100 tomorrow. Some areas, the mid-Atlantic Northeast, watching for record heat potentially again, middle of the week. Elsewhere, New York City, 97 on Wednesday. Tampa, 96 today with a chance of a shower and thunderstorm. From Panhandle to Panhandle, warm to hot temperatures up here to the north. Highs 89 to 93. Wheeling near 92 today, low near 71 tonight. That's 1 degree shy of a daily warm record low for you tonight, so very warm for the lows yet too. To the eastern panhandle, some low to mid 90s up here. Martinsburg near 92 with sunshine, your low near 70 overnight, some low 60s up in the high elevations. For our central area, Spencer, near the Big 90, 90 degrees today, low near 68 tonight. To the south, Bluefield, your flood watch is long gone. You're near 83 today. For your 7 days, Morgantown, Charleston, warm to hot through the week. Friday night and through the weekend and early next week, some lower temps in the 80s with those chances of rain.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Live from West Virginia's capital city with news from across the state. This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law, with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and Metro News' Dave Allen.
Welcome into the 2 o'clock hour. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. Open line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. What's on your mind? It's your time to shine. 1-800-765-TALK or text 304-TALK-304. It's Metro News Midday.
Metro News Midday is presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com. Join in by calling 800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK-304. Let's go live to downtown Charleston. Here's Dave Allen.
It's a Tuesday afternoon. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Dave Allen in the host chair with you. Ryan Nicholson, Stephanie Pauly, our producers today. 1-800-765-TALK. That is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. We'll get to Open Line West Virginia again at the bottom of the hour. Well, each year, it being a southern West Virginian, I know that if it's summertime and you're around Chief Logan State Park, in the beautiful, actually not in the city of Logan, it's actually away from Logan a little bit, you are going to be treated to some outdoor entertainment. And it's been going on in one form or another going back to like 1952. And I'm talking about these outdoor dramas presented by the Aracoma Story. This time around, they're doing the world-renowned production of The Outsiders, and we're bringing this to statewide attention because I can tell you from when I lived there, people literally came from states all around just to see these outdoor productions at the Liz Spurlock Amphitheater at Chief Logan State Park. I want to bring in now Kaity Dingess. She is with the production of The Outsiders, and she joins us this afternoon. Good afternoon, Kaity. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Tell us what made this organization, because you guys, of course, you're known for doing the Aracoma Story. We'll have more on that a little bit later on. But each year you do a couple of other productions, not only during the summer, but you do some throughout the year as well. What was it about the production of The Outsiders that appealed to the folks putting this on that you thought, well, this would be a good thing to put on for the people?
Well, it has been mentioned for years. I remember when I was in high school, I actually had the director, Bill France, as a teacher, and I asked him multiple times to please do this show. So finally, years later, we have obtained the rights, and we are here, and we're going to put it on for you.
Now, I get the dates here. It's going to be July 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th, and then July 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. And you do a little pre-show that starts at 8 o'clock, and the show begins at 8:30. For those that aren't familiar with The Outsiders, of course, it was on Broadway for many, many years. It was a very successful movie, which really launched a lot of careers of some well-known. They weren't well-known at the time, but they were once this movie was released in the early 1980s. Tell us the basic premise behind The Outsiders.
We are doing the play, not the Broadway musical.
Gotcha.
The Outsiders is a play based on S.E. Hinton's classic novel of the same name. It focuses on the struggles between two social groups in the 1960s Tulsa, Oklahoma. You've got the Socias, who are the wealthy bunch, and then you have the Greasers, who are the unwealthy bunch. And then the play is told from the perspective of Ponyboy Curtis, who learns what the motto of the show, Stay Gold, really is all about.
And I got to tell you, I remember reading this book. It was required reading in my literature class in 7th grade. And anytime as a kid or teenager, you told me you have to read something, that's a way not to get me to read it, to be honest with you. But I loved it. And again, at the time when we read the novel, I had not seen. I know you're doing the play version, not the movie version. There's differences, but then I later saw the production and both productions, and I was happy I read the book because this is one of those that's really had a lot of staying power. I mean, over the years, when you think about how long it's been around.
Yeah, I had to read it when I was in 8th grade, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And then we watched the movie. Our play is really close to the movie. So if anyone's seen that, that's what you'll be expecting.
And it's the classic, for those that aren't familiar with it, I'll give you I won't call them Cliff Notes because that's trademark. I'll give you the Dave Notes on this, okay? And basically, it is the classic struggle of at least the perception of haves and have-nots, the cool kids versus the non-cool kids, the rich kids versus the non-rich kids, the kids from one side of town and the kids from other side of town. And like it or not, no matter whether you grew up in New York City or Logan, West Virginia, you can relate to that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Now, what is your role in this? Are you behind the scenes? Are you on stage? What's your role?
I actually play the role of Two-Bit Matthews. He is the jokester of the group, and he really cares about his friends, and that explains me in general.
Right. Well, some of the best characters that you play are ones that are closest to your own true personality. Have you found that?
Oh, yeah.
What was it that made you want to do acting? Is this something that you've done, for a long time? Is it something you just started doing as a kid, or something you just fell into? What's the appeal of dramas like this for you?
Well, I have been with the Eric Holmes Story for 14 years now, and they put me on the board of directors recently, and I am now the manager of their office space. My father, when he was alive, would take me to the park every summer, and I would watch the Eric Holmes Story. I watched The Wizard of Oz, Grease, Seussical. He passed away when I was in the 3rd grade. So when I got into middle school, I was in choir class, and we were forced to do a show once a year, and I fell in love with it and finally got to do the outdoor drama, and I just stayed with it all this time. I absolutely love it. There's nothing else I would rather do.
And again, we're talking with Kaity Dingess about this outdoor production at the Liz Spurlock Amphitheater, which is located at Chief Logan State Park. And for those that don't know, I mean, the history, I know a little bit of the actual Eric Holmes Story itself, which is kind of, it's almost on Romeo and Juliet kind of story, to be honest with you. And it's been done since the 1950s. It kind of went away for a while, then it came back in the 1970s as part of the bicentennial. And now, is that being done this year? Because I know some years you don't do it, and then sometimes they bring it back. Is it being done this year?
It is not being done this year, but it will make its return next summer.
Well, and I think that's a good thing. And listen, I remember the controversy over that when I was down there, because people in small towns don't like when you change stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And every
Right.
year since 1976, they had done the Eric Holman story there. And look, I think every now and then, with all due respect to the people that were part of the productions, I think every now and then you need to give things a little bit of a break, and bring it back, refresh it, maybe change some writing here or there, change the style, whatever. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think change can be a good thing.
Right. It's nice to switch it up every now and then and bring some new shows that have never been done before to the area.
What are you doing? Any other shows this summer or into the fall, Katie?
We actually have a show after The Outsiders ends. We will be putting on Charlotte's Web, and we will be opening in September. I think opening night is September 11th.
And, these productions, as I said, the Liz Spurlock Amphitheater, for those that have never been there, it's worth the short, it's worth the drive. I was going to say the short drive, but if you're in Charleston, it's a short drive. If you're in Martinsburg, maybe not. But I can tell you that the Liz Spurlock Amphitheater is an outdoor theater in Chief Logan State Park, one of the most, one time, I don't know if I don't have the statistics in front of me, at one time it was the most visited daytime park in the state of West Virginia. I don't know whether it still is or not, but it's an absolutely beautiful setting, especially for an outdoor production in the evenings. You said you do a pre-show at 8. It starts about 8:30, and there's nothing like being under those lights at Chief Logan State Park, right?
Right. I've done indoor theater and outdoor theater for years, and there's just something about outdoor theater that just draws me in. That amphitheater is one of the best places to put on shows.
What interesting experiences, Katie, have you had over the years? Because there's always stories of, sudden downpours, of mosquitoes, of what are some of the funny stories that now they're funny? They were disastrous the night they were happening. What are some of the funny stories you've had over the years?
I played Dream Teller in the Eric Holman story, and at the end of the Eric Holman story, they are killed off. And when I would lay in that sand dead, I would have bugs crawl up my costume, and you could not move. And it was very difficult to not squirm.
Well, it trains you for a future MRI that you'd have to have. How's that?
Yeah.
But these productions have been done over the years, and I can think off the top of my head, they've done, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I know people are listening. Wait a minute, Dave Allen knows about that? Yeah, I'm well-rounded. They've done, I'm trying to think of some others. Grease, they've done that. They've done so many of these different productions over the years, and it's really something that gets the young people involved, and I love it because, like you, a lot of young people, and I was never much of an actor myself, but young people say, well, I don't really want to do this, but I've seen so many cases, man, when you put them on stage, they become a different person. I mean, they may be very shy and withdrawn in the classroom or with their family, but you put them on stage, they can become a different person.
Yes, I always tell people, do not let your kids not do theater at least one point in their life. It really does help you get out of the shyness, awkwardness.
Yeah, at least give it a try. And look, there's plenty of things to do behind the scenes. I've had plenty of my friends back in the day that didn't really want to be on stage, but they love doing the tech crew. Because there's people don't understand what goes on into putting together a production like this, particularly when you're doing it outdoors at this theater. When, as we talked about, the elements, the bugs, everything else, but there's a lot to be done behind the scenes as well. Talk about that.
Oh, yeah, we definitely always are looking for help backstage. We need people to help do sound, run spotlights, be backstage in charge of props, help change out microphones. Anybody that's ever interested in doing the technical part, gladly you are welcome to join us.
You're right. What's the theater community like, not only down there, but now? Because, we have so many different ways of entertainment now, from streaming to devices of all kinds. I mean, is there still a big interest in this down there, or in other places that you're aware of?
Oh, yeah. This show, for example, brought out, I think there are 13 or 14 people in The Outsiders that have never set foot on stage before, ever, before this show. And I love seeing it because, like I said, I've been around since 2013. I'm now 27 years old, and I know that I'm getting to the age where I'm too old for most roles. So it's good for the younger generation to come in and join us, and I see how much that they are enjoying themselves, and I hope that they come back with us many, many more years.
And this thing, I mean, this is not, when I say about this production, you know, and it's been done over the years, it's not just a hometown play in Southern West Virginia. Busloads of people come in for this thing. I mean, I have been there, you know, and I have done, you know, stage announcing and things like that. And generally speaking, I don't know how you do it now, but years ago, there would be somebody come out on stage and just say, hey, you know, kind of like warming up the crowd. Where's everybody from? Oh, we got a bus tour from Pittsburgh. We got some folks that came down from Ohio. And now with the power of the internet, when these things get publicized, there are people that this is what they do during their summer. They get the family together. Maybe it's a theater group from another area. They load up the van, they load up the bus, and they go out and they seek these things.
Yeah, we have 2 people in this cast who drive 2 hours a day to come be in this show. They love it so much. It's just one of their favorite shows, one of their favorite movies.
Well, that makes for a long rehearsal. I mean, you know, the rehearsal time leading up to, especially if they're, you know, I don't know who they are, but especially if they're in school or they have work to do or whatever the next day. Well, Kaity, when you guys reached out to me about talking about this, I said, look, I know this looks like it's just going to be a thing, me trying to give some love to my hometown, but it's really not, because this is something that, I mean, literally people come from all over the country to take into different productions. So The Outsiders, it's at the Liz Spurlock Amphitheater, which is located at Chief Logan State Park. It'll be presenting it July 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th, and then the 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. And the pre-show starts at 8, and show starts at 8:30. And if I could give anybody that's thinking about going down for this thing, Kaity, if I could give them any advice at all, it would be to bring a jacket. Because this is nestled in this theater up against a mountainside at Chief Logan State Park. And let me just tell you, whatever the temperature, even as hot as this summer has been, it's about 20 degrees cooler in there. Now, I know it's not when you're on stage. You know, you're blistered on stage with those lights, but back in that hollow, you probably need to plan on a light jacket. And it seems weird to have a jacket in mid-July, but that's my one piece of advice for people. Bring the bug spray and bring the jacket.
Oh, yeah, and if it might rain, bring an umbrella just in case. Because just if it rains slightly, that does not mean the show is over.
Mm-hmm. That's just another hazard. It's just like the bugs you had to go through, right? It's just another hazard. The show must go on, as they say, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hey, Kaity, pleasure to get to know you. Pleasure to have you on the show today here. And we'll keep talking about the show, try to get people down there. We'll have you back on when you plan on doing your next production come September. How's that?
All righty, sounds good.
All right, thank you. Kaity Dingess, again, the production is The Outsiders at the Liz Spurlock Amphitheater, which is located at Chief Logan State Park, July 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th, and then the 23rd through the 26th. Pre-show starts at 8 o'clock, and the show begins at 8:30. And as I said, as somebody who's been to a lot of these shows over the years, I never acted in one, but I've been a part of them over the years. Bring a jacket and bring your bug spray. And you're going to say, Dave, it's July. Why would you need a jacket? Trust me, you will need a jacket. And it's really a cool thing for that area because they do, as I said, generally 2 shows a summer. They're doing this one in Charlotte's Web in September, she said. And people come from all over. I mean, they literally come from Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Virginia, people just to come and check out the shows. It's really a really cool thing. And go check it out. Good stuff. 2:23, it's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. We'll take a break and come back after this. Stay with us.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
Where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing, that they didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Welcome back to the show, 2:27 on a Tuesday afternoon. Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Ryan Nicholson, Stephanie Pauly, our producers today. We'll get to Open Line West Virginia after the bottom of the hour break. 1-800-765-TALK or text me 304-TALK 304. West Virginia's on the rise. New businesses, new opportunities, and a strong, resilient workforce leading the way. Check out the full story, WVEnrich.com. A video presentation sponsored by Huntington Bank, proud to be invested in the future of West Virginia. Had somebody earlier in the building said, well, how's the break from social media going? And I said, well, it's okay. Because, and if you're late to the story, and by the way, the Talk Line boys must have been really, really bored today to invite me to come on the show to talk about it. But just in case you don't know what I'm referring to, I, on Sunday, made a video that I call these Dave-atorials, where I just kind of sound off on something. And usually record them on my front porch or in my office at home or my office here or whatever. And I talked about breaking away from social media. And the reason I did was it started with the whole, the people being joyous over the death of Lindsey Graham. But I'm speaking as somebody who was not a Lindsey Graham fan necessarily. I respected him, especially as we were talking to Josh Holstein earlier about where he came from. But as far as being, a fan of his, probably not, but just reading the comments, and I said, this is not good for one's mental health. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to take a break. And I did a video about it. And I had several people reach out. I know the irony there of doing a video on social media to say you're leaving social media. And I also know that it's not an airport. You don't have to announce your departure. I get it. But I just wanted to, let people know I kept the radio page. I have a page, Dave Allen Radio, which I use primarily for sharing the things of not only Metro News, but Metro News Sports and, WVU and Marshall and some other big stories that pop up from time to time, and our local stations here in Charleston as well. And so I kept that, and I kept the page on X, but I just said I'm just not going to do anything with the personal social media because it's taking way too much of my time doing nothing. I never got on there and argued with people or whatever. But I just didn't need the venom. But then, and I'm not saying I'm going to go back on my word, but I am going to say that I had something that somebody brought up to me yesterday that kind of, changed my perspective on this whole thing. And I thought, well, maybe I'll second guess myself a little bit, which if you know me, I third, fourth, and fifth guess myself on a regular basis. I'll tell you the story when we come back, plus Open Line West Virginia. It's Metro News Midday. And now we'll go to the Metro News Anchor Desk for a check of local news. You're listening.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Well, meteorologist Joey Ansel here, and got your latest forecast on a Tuesday. Plan for a lot of dry sunshine here through the middle of this week for your forecast ahead. Some warm to hot temps as a strengthening ridge of high pressure dominates our forecast this week. And then as the ridge breaks down, next cold front drops in from the north. Friday night and the weekend, I'll watch for some increasing chances of rain and thunder by then in the long term. In the short term, dry. And some areas of overnight and morning dense fog may affect your morning drives out there too. High of 85, low at 66 in Charleston yesterday. Both of those right around averages. Seasonable norms yesterday. Starting your forecast with the radar and satellite may look like at 1 p.m. Again, pretty quiet out there. Sunny to mostly sunny skies, warm temps, some muggy humidity here and there, and be mindful overnight and tomorrow. Some of that River Valley fog developing and then dissipating around midday or slightly before that. Fly Saber forecast, it starts at home. Washington, D.C., 92 today, 100 tomorrow. Some areas, the mid-Atlantic Northeast, watching for record heat potentially again, middle of the week. Elsewhere, New York City, 97 on Wednesday. Tampa, 96 today with a chance of a shower and thunderstorm. From Panhandle to Panhandle, warm to hot temperatures up here to the north. Highs 89 to 93. Wheeling near 92 today, low near 71 tonight. That's 1 degree shy of a daily warm record low for you tonight, so very warm for the lows yet too. To the eastern Panhandle, some low to mid 90s up here. Martinsburg near 92 with sunshine. Your low near 70 overnight. Some low 60s up in the high elevations. For our central area, Spencer, near the Big 9-0, 90 degrees today, low near 68 tonight. To the south, Bluefield, your flood watch is long gone. You're near 83 today. For your 7 days, Morgantown, Charleston, warm to hot through the week. Friday night and through the weekend and early next week, some lower temps in the 80s with those chances of rain.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
On the next State of Minds.
We cook West Virginian food is how we like to phrase it.
I knew that every time I would hear a story, and I would hear the same story, but it never got old, about what this meant to the family and how it was served and how special it was to be put on the table.
When you hired me, you were 29.
You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's a great point.
Join Tony Caridi, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for Three Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com.
Welcome back to the show. 26 away from 3 on a Tuesday afternoon. Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit SalangoLaw.com. Ryan Nichols and Stephanie Pauly, our producers today. 1-800-765-TALK. Text 304-TALK-304. Get to your text here in a moment. I was talking, though, before the break about this self-imposed break from social media that I took. And again, not counting the radio page, which literally I have done other things in the past, but I said, I try to keep people informed by sharing various news stories, sports stories, things of importance. So I kept the radio page, but I said, I'm just not going to go away. I'm just not going to get on there and, as Wilson so eloquently put it today, doom scroll. When you said on there, and this all started on Sunday when I was reading all the comments about the death of Lindsey Graham, the rot in hell, and that sorts of things. And then this whole back and forth between, I get called to the carpet by a lot of the texters and the callers and say, well, it's not both sides. You say it's both sides. It's not both. Yeah, it is. It is. And then I get, well, give me an example of one Democrat that said anything. Then I get, well, give me an example of one Republican. Man, I'm not doing your homework for you. There's too many examples on both sides out there. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to take a break from it for a while. But then I started getting, I had a call to the show yesterday from an old friend of mine. Shout out to the man we called the doctor, Jeff, who kind of made me think about something. I got a couple messages and things of that nature. People saying, I was very public with my battle with cancer. I was, the story by now. I was gone for a physical a couple of years ago just to check up, and they said, hey, your PSA level's pretty high. We're going to send you for some tests. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that because I don't have any symptoms. There's no reason to. So I go back the following year. My doctor says, so you didn't go for your checkup, did you? Your referral that I gave you. And I said, no, I didn't. He said, okay, well, here's the deal. Your PSA level is very high, and the cancer is spreading. It's contained, all right, to a certain extent, but it's aggressive. That's the word they used, aggressive. And really need to get this checked out. And so I started earlier this year by, going through treatments. They were very simple. I mean, literally, I had to have 5 radiation treatments. I came to the office here in the morning, jumped in my vehicle, drove over to Kanawha City, got a radiation treatment, and came back and was back in the office. In some cases, my appointments were at 9. Many cases, I was back in the office by 9:45. And just a couple of side effects. Radiation's not like chemo or anything like that, but there are side effects that I still deal with today from some of not just the radiation, but the things I had to do to lead up to the radiation, the shots that you take ahead of time. And they say eventually I'll get back to normal. And I'm like, well, I was born abnormal. Why would I be normal now? But anyway, so I say all that because there's one of two ways that you can address. You can say, I'm not going to talk about it. It's my personal business. Or you can kind of advocate. And that's kind of what I did. I went on the air and on social media, and I told basically a message to guys, and that was, guys, take care of yourself. It's not about you. It's about your family. It's about your friends. It's about your coworkers. It's about your loved ones. You're not in this in a vacuum. And so I got a lot of positive feedback, from that. And I got the all clear, as they say, a month or so ago, and that it was taken care of, and it'll be a continual thing where I have to go back every year, or like twice a year, to get it checked. I don't go back again until December, unless I have an issue. And my whole thing in advocating was that I had 0 symptoms of anything whatsoever. Nothing. It was prostate cancer. I had no symptoms of anything. And so my point was, I was trying to tell guys, just get yourself checked out especially when you get to be a certain age like I am. Take care of yourself. That was it. And I use social media for that, and I use the airwaves here. And I had people reach out to me and said, thank you for what you did. Because of you, I was able to talk my husband into going and getting checked out. Or I had really nice texts several months ago. A person said that their son was having a really bad day and said, look, Dave's on the radio and he's got all this. And and look, I'm not a hero by any stretch of the imagination. And what I had was very, very mild. I mean, in the big picture of things. So I thought, well, there is good that can come from it if you choose not to engage in the bad. And so I'm still off of it right now on my personal, I'm not doing anything, but, I understand where it could be good. TJ and I had this conversation on Talkline earlier today with Wilson too about the importance of dialogue. I am just so afraid though that we are in a place in this country where we don't have the ability to do dialogue much anymore. And that's sad. We used to be able, to sit down and liberal and conservative, Republican, Democrat, and sit down and have these conversations. Well, hey, we don't agree on this, but can we kind of find some middle ground? Can you put yourself in my head, and I'll try to get in your space and kind of come to at least an understanding. Okay, I don't agree with you, but I understand why you think the way you do. I haven't had your life experiences. And I think we need much more of that. Unfortunately, though, I don't think social media is the place for that. I hate to be the pessimistic. I don't think that social media is the place for that because there's so much out there. I mean, even when I said I was leaving, somebody made some crude comment. Well, good riddance for a Trump supporter. Well, not a Trump supporter. If you haven't listened to this show enough, you know that. I want our president to do well. I want our country to do well, but I'm not what you call a Trump supporter necessarily. Voted for him once, didn't vote for him again. Okay. But anyway, I say all that to say absolutely nothing other than the fact that I'll reconsider it. But as far as getting on there and engaging with people and by the way, 80% of the people you're engaging with aren't real people. So keep that in mind. 19 minutes away from 3. It's Open Line West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK. That's a phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Text says, any mention of the president's post, a fish rots from the head. You keep mentioning Mr. Zuckerberg. What about Mr. Musk, who turned Twitter into a Nazi cesspool, says the texter. Well, first of all, yes, I did call out the president I don't know how many more times I can call out President Trump for the things that he puts on Truth Social and heck, for the things he says in real life. I don't know how much more of that I can do. People hear what they want to hear. Text says, Dave, this camera thing in Huntington is truly scary. This opens up the door for so much more Big Brother stuff. Yeah, that's the whole flock camera thing. City Council went well into the overnight hours, early morning hours last night. In the end, Huntington City Council voted to put these into place, a couple $1 million from our reporting, and we interviewed Billy Cornwell on. But a lot of people are bothered by these, and they're different. Just like with any other technology, there are many different forms. But what I mentioned this earlier, what I really found interesting was the number of people that on totally different spectrums, Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, that found agreement on this. And that they did not want this. And it was like, wait a minute, maybe this is all we needed. Maybe we need to have this kind of, and I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you, but I'll use some of their terminology. Maybe we need the Orwellian Big Brother type surveillance to bring the Republicans and Democrats or liberals and conservatives together, because they were kind of, as we used to say back in the hometown, they were kind of singing out the same hymnal last night. 243 texted, Dave, I really enjoyed the conversation you had in the morning show with Bill Lynch. I've been a fan of his for a long time. made it a point to listen to his radio show on public radio at least once, if not twice, while he's running. What he's doing reminds me of Sandy Wells, who worked for the Charleston newspapers until she died several years ago. She would not necessarily talk to people on the street, but would do interviews with people who are perhaps not well known that had very interesting lives. She used to say that she interviewed the most ordinary, extraordinary people and the most extraordinary, ordinary people. Miss her so much. Well, I appreciate that. Local show in Charleston, I interviewed a gentleman by the name of Bill Lynch, who is a writer for the HD family of newspapers, and particularly the Gazette-Mail here in Charleston. And he's been doing this series on Saturdays when he just goes into the community and interviews people, just random people. Sits over at Capital Market, goes to Regatta, and just, not politicians, not athletes, not, just normal people, and to get their stories. And I invited Bill on the morning show today and had a very interesting conversation with him. 244, it's Open Line West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK, tax 304, talk 304. We'll take a break and come back after this.
Summer in West Virginia means open roads, blue skies, and endless possibilities. But if you don't have reliable wheels, getting to work or making it to a doctor's appointment can feel like an uphill climb. That's where Good News Mountaineer Garage comes in. We take donated vehicles, fix them up, and get them to fellow mountaineers who need them the most. This summer, let's keep our community moving. Donate a vehicle today by calling 866-GIVE-CAR or visit goodnewsmountaineergarage.org. Donate a car, change a life.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZMM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZMM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
Where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
On the next State of Minds.
We cook West Virginian food is how we like to phrase it.
I knew that every time I would hear a story, and I would hear the same story, but it never got old, about what this meant to the family and how it was served and how special it was to be put on the table.
Welcome back to the show, 2:49 on a Tuesday afternoon. It's Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. It's Open Line West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK. Text 304-TALK, 304. Text says most people cannot financially afford cancer diagnosis without insurance. I chose not to go to a doctor, and I personally have been fine, but that's just me, says a doctor, or says a texter, I should say. I'll tell you, I was the person who... I don't want to say I was in good health, but I didn't know I was in bad health. How's that? Because 2 years ago, 2.5, I didn't even have a family doctor because I just simply don't get sick, knock on wood. Haven't had a flu shot. I've never had a flu shot. Flu maybe 3 or 4 times my whole life. Got COVID and had a runny nose. I'm not a COVID denier. I'm just saying that was my particular case. Okay. And that was it. And I've just been blessed, with that up until, my early 50s. And then I was diagnosed with high blood pressure and so on and so forth. But I understand what the texter's saying. Text, thank you, Secretary of State Chris Warner, for standing up to Donald Trump. Finally, a Republican who'll stand up to the wannabe King Trump. This, you read about it at the website, was the lead story earlier today. This case with the Department of Justice suing West Virginia and other states for not releasing the information, vital voter information that the Trump administration had asked for, which would be a direct violation of West Virginia law. And Secretary of State Chris Warner and other states basically said no, and he got tossed by a judge yesterday. Text, so Trump is going to try to claim the 2020 election was stolen again, even though it's been proven in something like 50 courts that it wasn't. What he's doing, Dave. He's trying to lay the groundwork to interfere with the November elections. Mark my words. We shall see. I would not be surprised. Text says, love listening to your guest accent earlier in the show. It's a Logan County thing. Text says, understand they're planning on another roundabout. This one's an institute. Maybe the people who travel and live there won't whine about it like the people in Scott Depot did, says the texter. Text, cry some more, liberals. Donald Trump still your president. 1-800-765-TALK. That's the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Text, can we all just stop with the canonizing of Lindsey Graham? He's a horrible human being, period, says the texter. Text, great jobs announcement yesterday in the Eastern Panhandle. Governor Morrissey getting things done. Text, it's really beautiful. They're making skywatch cabins of Chestnut Ridge because we're not going to be able to see the sky down on Greenbank Road anymore once they put in all those roundabouts with the obnoxious lights. Thanks, County Commission, for turning your back on the south side of town using old 1980s WVU-era growth models to project 20,000 cars a day on Greenbank Road in 2048 is a lie, and the city council should be ashamed, says a texter. Text, thank you so much, Secretary Warner, for putting the law over the corrupt Trump administration. I was never a fan before, but you earned my respect. Text, beautiful day in West Virginia. Be a great time to fix some potholes. Text, hey, Dave, on the subject of Social Security fund drying up, we wouldn't have to worry about this if the government would pay back all the money they borrowed from it and not paid back, says the texter. Text, so the Republicans choosing Lindsey Graham's sister to replace him. Where would the Republican Party be without nepotism? Text, Huntington, get the flock out of here. Creativity. Text said, I agree with all the people fawning over Lindsey Graham. Enough is enough. Text, not sure what the big deal about the cameras are. The government already knows everything about everyone already. Don't break the law and you have nothing to worry about, says the texter. Text, if the Republican Party would put their hatred, I'm sorry, I got my lines mixed up here. If the people would put their hatred of the Republican Party aside and realize Lindsey Graham was a great American. His story is fascinating. He did not grow up rich and didn't get rich at all in Congress. He was raised in the back of a bar and was a decorated veteran who basically raised his sister on his own while he was in college. R.I.P. Final text, I will always whine about roundabouts that cost millions of dollars when only $100,000 turning language suffice most of the time. Turning language. All right. We're out. Be back to wrap it up after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
Where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing, that he didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Welcome back to the show. A couple of minutes away from 3 o'clock. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producer today. Look who's back, ladies and gentlemen. A man who believes that you can live life as both tastes great and less filling.
Oh, that's nice.
It's Dave Weekly.
That's
Hey,
nice.
So you missed it yesterday.
I was off yesterday.
I wasn't. I didn't know that you weren't here until I always, at some point during the show, go over to your X page and see your question of the day and your in or out, and I re-X those. And so I saw you hadn't done one yesterday. So I asked Ryan, and he said that you were off yesterday. So Coop came in and did this segment yesterday.
How'd that go?
And I had to give, I had come up with this great introduction, my Letterman-esque introduction I give to you every day. So he got to be the recipient yesterday, which yesterday's was, ladies and gentlemen, a man who was a stunt double for Adam Rich on 8 is Enough.
Not nice.
So
Nice.
it was Dale Cooper and not Dave Weekly.
Yeah, man. I took yesterday off, and I've already made at least 2, probably more, at least 2 day-related mistakes. Not knowing what day today is.
So what does Dave Weekly do on a day off?
I went to Wendy's yesterday.
Oh,
How about that?
Man.
I went to the Wendy's. You know the one in Spring Hill where the dump truck fell over? I had to go check things out. I had to go do a quality control check.
What's your order at Wendy's? What'd you get?
Oh, double.
Okay.
Double and 1 Diet Coke and then a Diet lemonade for the road.
There you
which
go.
I already had, was drinking on it this morning.
All right.
Delicious.
There you go. All right. What you got on the show today?
We're talking about, unwritten rules of the road for West Virginians.
I saw that. That should be a good one.
I hope so.
All right. Got to go. Mr. Weekly and the crew coming up with Hotline. I'm the same Metro News Station. Stephanie and Ryan, thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Till then, have fun. I love somebody.